TV. We're your local network.
Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Paula Dagnan. We start tonight in the city of Hazleton, where dozens of shots were fired into a home not far from one of the city's elementary middle schools. Now police are searching for the person responsible. It happened at a home on West 11th Street around 11 o'clock last night. There were people in the home at the time, but there were no reports of any injuries. City Police Chief Jerry Speziale said his department is investigating 3 shooting incidents in the city that has caused damage to a home and vehicles. The first incident was last month. That's when police were called to the intersection of North Laurel and West Spring Streets. Through further investigation, it was discovered that Christopher Paguna was the actor who fired multiple shots at the intersection. Last night's incident on 11th Street and the one last month, police attribute to these incidents to targeted group violence. Again, police are searching for Christopher Pagagua, who is wanted for his involvement in the July 23rd shooting, but officials stopped short of calling him a person of interest in that case. He's facing a number of charges, and anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call Hazleton Police Department at 570-459-4940 or anonymously through the department's text for tips by texting the word My Tips to 274637 or by submitting a web tip on the Hazleton Police webpage. A chirping fire alarm and firefighters' quick thinking saved a city home from destruction Wednesday night. Firefighters were sent to a single home at 316 West Maple Street after a next-door neighbor heard a fire alarm sounding around 8:15. Crews arrived at the home and found smoke swelling on the first floor. After gaining access, crews found a small fire on the couch. People were said to be sanding the floor before leaving that night and left the sander unplugged on the small couch. The hot dust in the catch bag for the tool ignited the couch cushion, creating that small fire with a lot of smoke. Crews extinguished the fire, then worked on ventilating the smoke from inside using fans. Damage confined to one couch cushion. The state is planning to close the Whitehaven Center, and yesterday many turned out to be heard that they are against the plan. The Whitehaven Center Board of Trustees opened their meeting to public comments and got many pleas from those who work, volunteer, or have loved ones there to keep that facility open. WYLN's Gary Perna has more.
Why do I have to worry about rolling the dice for my brother's life?
The meeting room Wednesday night in Foster Township was full of concern for the future. Loved ones of residents who lived at Whitehaven Center for years voicing their concerns Wednesday night at a public meeting with the Board of Trustees. Backing them up, some of the center's more than 400 employees, including caregivers who say you can't put a price on the specific type of quality care they offer.
Who's going to be there to comfort these people and console them and remind them and talk to them about their memories and their family?
The closing of the center appears to be a done deal. The state plans to close Whitehaven in 2022. Saying residents would be better served in private facilities. The move would also save the state taxpayer dollars. State Senator John Udicek says making the budget is important, but not at the expense of families who rely on Whitehaven Center for their loved ones.
This decision is emotional, it's personal, and it can be potentially devastating to the people served in this center that will be moved, and it is certainly devastating to the families that love them.
You can feel the uncertainty that they're questioning. Can the community system care for their loved one the same way that the people here have done.
Those who have loved ones at the center are hoping public outcry works here. They believe the governor can and should change the decision to close the center.
We're living in a commonwealth. We're supposed to have a say in what happens to our loved ones. So automatically, they lost all their rights.
Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Gary Perna.
A news conference was held this afternoon at Senator John Udechak's office in Nanticoke to discuss the closing proposals for both SCI Retreat and Whitehaven Center. WYLN's Julia Wiegand has more.
Senator John Udechak called for a last-minute press conference at his office in Nanticoke to speak on the proposals to close both the SCI Retreat and the Whitehaven Center. Udechak noted that both proposals were not discussed in advance, didn't go through the committee process, had no legislative input, and certainly no input from families that would be impacted by this decision.
That disappoints me the most, that families that work at these facilities, the families that have loved ones at these facilities, they weren't notified, they weren't involved in the decision. We're going to fight to save SCI Retreat, save Whitehaven Center. We understand it's an uphill battle. These are proposals that have already been made, and we know it's going to be tough to reverse these decisions. But Senator Gordner, Senator Baker, we got a great legislative team here in northeastern Pennsylvania. We're going to go and make the fight.
The Department of Corrections and Department of Human Services have said that every state employee would have another job, but may have to relocate as much as 65 miles away. Udechak said we cannot sustain the loss of 840 jobs and over $105 million in annual economic impact that those two facilities bring to Luzerne County.
So they may be ripped out of our community. They may have to move, take their kids out of school. That's traumatic for a family. We're going to try to minimize if the decision is made. I'm going to work with the administration to have an economic development reinvestment act here in Luzerne County. We're going to be devastating to our economy. Can't let it happen. We've got to keep these facilities open. If they continue to close down these facilities, then we're going to have to talk about an economic reinvestment plan.
1,100 inmates would have to be relocated to other facilities, which most are already at capacity. The department's arguing that they have the occupational capacity, but Udechak thinks we're going to have overcrowded prisons, making them dangerous prisons.
We want to make sure these guards, the men and women that work in these facilities, are safe, that these facilities are safe. And you can only do that with good staffing ratios and making sure you're under your operational capacity.
SCI Retreat is one of the lowest costing state prisons to operate and operates efficiently after switching to natural gas to save money, over $1 million a year.
It's not a budget issue. This is a political decision. This is a political policy to move away from state facilities. I disagree with that decision. I disagree with that political philosophy. I think there is a place in our society for these correctional institutions and facilities like Whitehaven Center. And so we need to invest in them, make them operate as efficiently as possible, as I believe they are currently doing.
Because of a law that was passed by Udechak, Senator David Argall, and another Republican colleague from Schuylkill County, a public meeting is required before making a decision to close these facilities.
They cannot simply close a prison. In the past, they can make the decision and walk away. There'd be no fight. The decision would be final. Now they have to defend their decision. We get to argue the case that the facility should remain open.
And that meeting will happen October 17th, where concerns can be voiced by the public. WYLN will have more information on that meeting as soon as it's made readily available to the public. Reporting in Nanticoke for WYLN News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
The Crestwood School Board scheduling a special meeting for 8 a.m. Friday to address the recent busing issues. District officials Sunday announced the first school day for students was going to be delayed to September 3rd to better address transportation issues. The district has been tinkering with its bus schedule and routes after receiving numerous complaints last week on their initial morning transportation schedule. The school board hired G. Davis Incorporated earlier this month as their new provider, and they are looking to hire drivers in both Crestwood and Dallas school districts. Crestwood dropped Reinheimer Bus Lines Incorporated, which has since sued the district after state auditors found expired background clearances for some school bus drivers. 2 members remain on Freeland's recreation board after 4 resigned, citing issues working with its president. Borough Council accepted the resignations of Mike Malloy, Melissa Kokinda, Crystal Dooley, and Lisa Crawford at Tuesday night's meeting. All of the letters contain statements about working with President of the Recreation Board, Shane Balliet. Lack of communication, spending of rec board funds that weren't appropriately accounted for, and micromanagement were other issues that prompted the members to resign. Balliet also stepped down as president but fights to remain on the board. 3 of the 4 board members that resigned said they would come back if Balliet was not the president. After several amendments, almost $2 million of capital projects earned approval at Tuesday's Luzerne County Council meeting. Council approved a plan originally submitted by County Manager David Pedri in May, where the largest single item in the plan is an emergency fund for these types of projects, which will have $403,000. Other large projects include $500,000 spread out over 2 projects that will go to reconstruction improvements on the county parking garage, as well as $250,000 for replacing employee workstations and laptops over several years as they grow outdated. Council also added a $50,000 project to replace cooling towers and pumps at the county's domestic relations office, where a leak and more issues were discovered about 2 weeks ago. Coming up on WYLN News, warnings coming out today about vaping, and an event held at a local high school brought a powerful message. Plus, wanted pictures of past Hazle Township supervisors. But first, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast, heading into a very nice, what some consider to be, the last weekend of summer. We'll be right back.
Your exciting new TV experience is here. Smarter, faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps, all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
C&D Seafood, retail and takeout for quality you can trust. Seafood is their specialty. Located in Wilkes-Barre next to the Big Cow, call for all your holiday and party needs. And don't forget the coleslaw.
Barber Ford has the largest selection of Ford commercial vehicles in Northeast PA with over 50 Super Duties in stock. Plus, Barber Ford is the only Ford commercial vehicle center in the area participating with the state's cooperative purchasing program, CoStars. Barber Ford, where the pros go for trucks.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Combating the opioid epidemic while also addressing concerns about vaping was the focus of the second Fighting Back Forum. It took place this morning at Marion Catholic High School. The 1-hour forum was sponsored by Lehigh Valley Health Network and coordinated by the Standard Speaker with support from WYLN TV and SSP TV in conjunction with numerous community partners. Part 1 focused on the opioid epidemic. Part 2 focused on vaping. This morning's forum took the message directly to a student body during the school day and was recorded so it can be made available to other schools in the region. The public's help is needed for a display honoring past members of the Board of Supervisors in Hazle Township. Township officials are looking for photographs of all past supervisors to create a framed display that will then be placed in the Commons building. They're searching for information and photos of supervisors dating back to the 1940s, including Thomas Martino, Michael Sunder, George Fetter, and Michael Dimchak. Residents can also view the list of other names of past supervisors by visiting hazeltownship.com. They can also contact Zoning Officer Fran Calarco at 570-455-2030, and all photos will be returned to the owners. The recent name change of the Luzerne County Transportation Authority to Northeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority had officials apologizing for the confusion. Chairman of the Transportation Authority Board, Charles Ciandra, and Solicitor Joseph Bloshek told Luzerne County Council that the board didn't know that Executive Director Norm Gavlik planned to unveil the new brand earlier this month. A council member questioned whether it was legal to enact the name change. Gavlik said that it is strictly a branding identity to prepare for potential mergers with Lackawanna County and Hazleton Transit. According to Ciandra, the LCTA board never voted to approve a name change. Authority board members were at Tuesday's work session to regain a good working relationship with council and get council's input on rebranding and other issues moving forward. Coming up on Maple Manor's News Choice, the Carbon County Animal Shelter in Community and You. Plus, ready? 10 days until Fun Fest. Mark your calendar to the morning of September 8th for a non-denominational interfaith service. Stay with us.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with the Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
BLB Auto Sales, a division of Barbush Automotive. BLB has deals that can't be beat. They carry trucks, vans, SUVs, sedans, and sports cars, and all at the lowest prices. Barbush Automotive can handle all vehicle repairs since they do it all. Check out their specials: oil change and filter, just $19.95. Alignment, $49.95. Professional and good people. Call 570-454-7571.
County Animal Shelter in Nesquehoning has been taking care of homeless dogs for over 20 years. On average, shelter employees care for nearly 15 dogs on a daily basis and over 300 a year. The no-kill shelter takes care of the dogs until they are adopted or are reunited with their owner. Volunteers help with staff care for the pups and do errands around the shelter.
We have volunteers that come in and strictly walk dogs. They're dog walkers for us. Some of them get attached to one dog and come in every day and handle that dog and walk that dog and socialize, play with that dog. And then we have volunteers that help us clean. We have volunteers that basically do almost everything that we do except drive the company vehicle and answer the phone. So our volunteers are a good mix of people that care about dogs and love them as much as we do, and we're pretty blessed to have the ones that we have.
As with all animal shelters, Carbon County's main goal is finding the animals a forever home.
Adoption process is pretty simple. You come down here, if you see a dog that interests you, as long as it's up to date on its shots, you take it for a walk, and then we want you to spend as much time as possible with that dog. You're never allowed to come in and just adopt a dog and walk out. It's a couple days visit, and then we try to figure out if the dog's the best fit for you, and then we go from there. So the adoption fee at the Carbon County Animal Shelter is $100, and that includes rabies shot, distemper shot, bordetella shot. Our dogs are spayed or neutered. Our dogs have chips in them. Our dogs are now tested for heartworm and Lyme disease. So if you come in and see a dog and it thinks it's going to work for you, then we'll do our best to make that happen.
There are numerous circumstances that bring the dogs to the shelter.
There's several different ways that we get dogs. Sometimes people find a dog that'll be running down the street and they'll bring it in, and sometimes they'll call us and say it's running down the street, and we'll go out and see if we can get it. There's times that people move and leave the dog behind. There's times that a family member may pass away and have a dog and it has to be rehomed. There's other times where people are in the hospital and actually want their dog but have nobody to care for it, and we'll do our best to accommodate them and take care of their dog until they get better.
Donations are a major help to the shelter. Businesses and residents of the community lend a helping hand.
The people who help us with the donations, all our cleaning products are donated, all our food is donated. So we have a good relationship with companies like Fresh Pet and different companies that help us out. But it's the people who bring us the paper towels and the pine sol and the dog treats, and it's just amazing how many people throughout our county and neighboring counties that reach out to help us. So without that, we'd be in a lot of trouble.
If you would like to donate to the Carbon County Animal Shelter, you can bring in items like canned food, dry food, and dog treats. To adopt or to volunteer, you can call 570-325-4828 or stop by 63 Broad Street in Nesquehoning. You can also view pictures of the pooches who are in need of good homes by visiting their Facebook page.
Sacco Chiropractic, East Broad Street in Hazleton, has the health care you've been waiting for. Whether it's a chronic issue or something new, Sacco Chiropractic has the most up-to-date techniques and therapies to help with any ailment. From his days of playing football with the Cougars and then in college, Dr. Scott Sacco has an elite understanding of sports injuries and how to correct them. Whether you are an athlete, a weekend warrior, or a grandmother, we can help with multiple issues. Call today to see why relief is super, man. 570-497-4150.
Ralph M. Cameron, specializing in quality and affordable construction services for residential, commercial, and industrial, licensed and insured. Call 570-401-0654 today for all your construction needs.
Hi, I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. Don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown in the Hometown Village Square.
John's Family Restaurant in the Churchill Mall. Enjoy a full menu with all homemade food. From breakfast, soups, sandwiches, entrees, and desserts. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner specials. The food is great, the price is right. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Sunday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
The Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce held its monthly red carpet breakfast this morning. WYLN's Julia Wiegand has more on what their guest speaker, Congressman Dan Muser, had to say.
The Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce hosted their August Red Carpet Breakfast in their legislative series this morning in McAdoo. The newly drawn legislative map that started January 1st of this year has parts of the Greater Hazleton area in the 9th Congressional District, and Congressman Dan Muser has been representative in Washington, D.C. since then. Congressman Muser was the breakfast's main speaker and discussed legislation affecting the Greater Hazleton area community at Capriati's. Everyone was eager to hear about the ups and downs of what's happening in D.C., challenges they face, and how to address many of their concerns.
They say all politics is local. What policy initiatives and work to accomplish tends to be local as well. So we're working on issues such as the opportunity zones, flood prevention, opioid epidemic. There's so much that we on the federal side can synergize with the state officials, the county officials, the community leaders, the chamber. The Greater Hazleton Chamber in particular has just done a great job over the years. So we work with them and problem solve and hopefully just improve the place that we all live.
Muser said it's a lot of hard work, but he's honored to serve the 9th Congressional District in D.C. and hopes to address some concerns brought up by attendees as soon as possible. The red carpet breakfast programs are conducted monthly by the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce as a way of providing information to the local business community and offers new and expanded business networking opportunities. Reporting in McAdoo for Wyln News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
And that's the news. Remember, you can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
Don't make the big box mistake. Shop